What's up, guys? James from Resto Quad. We're out here at Carolina Adventure World. We had a great ride today. I'm out here with Will from Wheeler Bros. One of our original fans on our page, liking and commenting a lot. They welcomed us out here today on this great ride we had. So we're finishing up for the day. We're all packed up. We're getting ready to go. But before we go, I wanted to hook him and the crew up with some new headlights. They're going to get both version 1 and version 2 of the Resto Quad headlights. We had a great time together, a blast, showing love for the people that show us love. So yeah, it was a great day, and we'll hope to do it again soon. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Appreciate it.
Awesome meeting you.
Yeah,
love
no
this
doubt.
product.
Yeah, let's give him a sneak peek. We'll give him a sneak peek. This right here. You're gonna get the, this is Harn 7, it's called. It's basically just giving you a plug and play hookup for your DRL without going with the whole turn signal street legal harness. Get some stickers in there, of course, our business card, and give you a little peek of the version 1. So that's version 1. Got a little aggressive DRL on the side. Your low beam, and this is actually a target beam. It's not called a high beam. It's more of a centralized addition of light, and that's the version 1. While I got you here, we'll pop open the version 2, and you'll see some of the visual differences. This light, big change in this is the orientation of the DRL. So it's the whole bottom of the light. Has a sequential turn signal if you're going to go with turn signals. And the big change in this guy is the D lens projector. Gives more of like a modern car look out on the road. And it has a traditional high beam rather than that target beam. But either way, they're plug and play. Plug right into your stock connector. Plug into our wiring harnesses. You get a 3-year warranty. For these guys, it's pretty much a lifetime warranty, because I'm sure we'll be seeing each other in the future on the trails. We're local. 100%. We'll be hitting a lot of places together, so we'll make sure to take care of you. But yeah, so what is it, 110 millimeter, and you take that off, unplug it, and you'll be good to go with strapping on new lights. That's awesome. For the next night ride out here at Carolina Adventure World, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no doubt.
You guys are a huge blessing. We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. We appreciate
100%.
you. Thank you.
Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, cool.
I can't wait to put this on.
Yeah, you'll be loving it. You'll be loving it.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Ciao. What's up, We the Bros, and welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that first bit. That was at Carolina Adventure World for our giant collab that we did. I think Andrew counted 17 people on that last day that we were there for the big group. About 19 people all together, and about, I want to say 9 channels all together, I think. So these are actually Resto Quad's product, the stuff that he gave us while we were there. This is the V1 and this is the V2. We talked with Clifford and he really likes the V1s, so we actually gave him our set of V1s, and this is his set. He allowed us to borrow these to do a comparison, which we'll be putting both on the Raptor, a left and a right comparison, to be able to showcase the V1 versus the V2, because apparently they're both really good, but one is better because of, well, obviously as you improve a product, it gets better as you go. So I guess we're going to do an unboxing of both in 2 different videos, and then we'll move forward accordingly. So let's pray for the V1 unboxing. I'm going to put this aside for something else, and we'll talk more about this product after we pray. Father God, thank you for the opportunity to have this. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk with all these amazing people, and to, quite frankly, be blessed to have this amazing community. I appreciate you keeping everyone safe as we rode, and keeping everyone safe as they got home. I pray that you'd watch over us and keep us safe as we look at all this stuff and do this for you and your glory. In your holy and precious name I pray. Amen. All right, so obviously these are the V1s. It's the larger box of the 2. Obviously, like I mentioned before, as you perfect a product, everything gets better, and packaging is another thing that gets better along with it. I learned a lot about it in graphic design, so this is going to be super fun. I'm very excited to dive into this. So right off the bat, there's a tab right here. Nothing super crazy. And then once you open it up, comes out like this. He gives you complimentary stickers, obviously the same one that was on the box. And then this other one as well, featuring the Banshee, which I really like. I love the retro design, one of my favorite kind of textures, and he nailed it with these. So just a little bit of an explanation. We got an opportunity to do a podcast with Mr. James. If you haven't checked out the Final Cut podcast, it's a separate channel, a different entity right now. We actually have our full episode of our interview and recap of Carolina Adventure Road with him. Something that we found out while we were in the midst of that is that these connectors here, they are designed for the running lights if you don't purchase the harness. The harness is a separately sold item, and that's basically just for people that, like us, we do a lot of off-road stuff, so 9 times out of 10 we wouldn't be purchasing the harness for street-related stuff like that. But because we love the product, and, well, let's be honest, I want to get that darn horn on my bike, we're gonna end up getting that. But for the purpose of this video, I believe we're going to be using this, and along with it comes a lot of additional wire, just in case, because you will have to do some manual stuff on your own as well. Not to say that there's anything to take away from the product, it's just something to help people out for different atmospheres of different riding styles, which is very thoughtful of James to consider both of his consumer bases. Let's move on to the headlights. And the last couple of things that were in here as well, I'm not going to take away too much stuff from it because obviously we're going to pack this up and take it back to, or send it off to East Tennessee Trail Riders when we're done. There is an instruction sheet here, another sticker, which is just the logo itself, and then obviously a business card. Love this design as well. Great color scheme. Anyway, let's move on to the headlights now that I've officially unpacked everything. I'm going to flip it this way to make sure that none of them fall. Take that off there. I really like how they did this, by the way. It's pretty, it just looks like it was cut out, but still a lot of attention to detail. So this is left side V1, and obviously you can see right off the bat it's got the plug in here, and obviously these would be going into the harness. And I believe it's the DRL, if I'm saying that correctly. This one is the one that just has it in the corner, but honestly a really clean design, and he gives it over to you with a protective piece like right here at the top, so we can peel this off and put this on. I think for the purpose of this video, since technically this isn't ours, I'm only going to take this left one out so we can use it for the comparison, and we'll leave that one in there so we can just repackage it whenever we're done. As for the covering, I guess we'll get some saran wrap or something and try and stick it to it so we can ship this off to the East Tennessee guys whenever we're done. Thank you again, by the way. You guys have made this video happen, and I really appreciate that. So just to explain these connectors real quickly, this one right here is for your daytime running lights or your DRLs, which is what I said earlier. These also have your connectors to be able to implement the turn signals. They are switchback amber turn signals. And then this one here, so this connector here is the connector that plugs directly into the factory harness. It's your high beams, your low beams, basically all the normal stuff that everyone's used to from the factory headlights. Now that we know what's in the box and what all comes with it, let's get to the installation part, which is actually not going to be my part. I'm actually going to hand it over to the one, the only, Andy.
I hate you. You know, I was going to make a joke about installing them with this wrench, but now I'm going to install them with this wrench.
Okay.
Also, shout out to Dad Speed for making the best merch in the game. Just got to throw that in there.
Because we haven't made ours yet.
All right, so we'll explain everything about everything in the box with the headlights. The only thing he did not explain is you do need this factory piece off of your stock headlights. This piece right here, if you notice, this is an actual separate entity from this black plastic housing. This is just clipped on to the housing itself with, I believe, one little tiny screw on the back, holding everything else on. So when we take these headlights off, we're going to have to disassemble this outer piece, and then that goes on the other headlights, because obviously you can see it doesn't have that actual shroud. So that's the only thing. I believe he sells these on his website. Don't quote me on that. We'll double check. But if you're just buying the actual housing itself, you are going to have to reuse these from your factory headlights. So let's go ahead and start taking off these factory headlights. All you're going to need is a 10 millimeter, a flathead screwdriver, and a Phillips head screwdriver, I believe. This mount here is different on the older style Raptors. This is just a regular bolt, and I believe this is just a twist connect. So this will just pop off, and there's one bolt here. So let's go ahead and start taking that out. There's one. That comes off, and this just slides off. Okay, so I lied. So all this was, I thought this was a twist connect, and after looking at it, if I can speak, all you do is there's this grommet here, and you just twist the light out once you get this grommet outside of this here. So it's just one bolt and then 2 rubber grommets, and they just slide right out. So your headlight is uninstalled. So it's going to be hard to see, but these housings, the actual housing itself, you can see is a separate entity than the headlight itself. These come off. So, and like I was saying in the intro, they need to be put on those new headlights. You can see that there's clips right here all along the edges, and they just pop off. It may take a little bit of finessing, like that one just popped right off. That one popped right off. That one popped back on. I take that back. But yep, there we go. We got one over here. That one's off. And I believe we have one more right there. And this should, in theory, come right out. And we'll wash these before we install them. But there you go. You can see there's your factory headlight, and there's the housing that we need. So I'm going to clean this up, and then we will start installing the new headlight. All right. So now that we got this clean, we can install it on the new light. I'm actually going to wipe this all off too while we're here. We need to wash this again, Will.
Yes.
It's very dirty still. Anyway.
Everyone else is on like 7.
Yeah, I need to take mine to it. We just need to load these up on a trailer and take them to a car wash. All right, so the V1s are a little different. They have, I believe, it's a traditional low beam, and then I want to say he called it a focus beam. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. It's not a traditional high beam. It focuses the light further out instead of giving you a flood. And the V2s, I believe, is just a traditional low and high beam, like a floodlight type thing. But yeah, I believe that is how the projectors are set up in these. Another thing that I didn't explain along with this that you will have to reuse are the rubber grommets and the metal spacer that is in one of the rubber grommets. They go inside these factory little fittings here. So you will have to reuse those, or you can buy a whole brand new pack from Resto Quad. He sells a pack of, I believe, 6, which will do both sides. So if you ever want to replace those grommets, you've got a pack to replace both sides. And it's a part number. It's used on a bunch of different other Yamaha ATVs and other stuff like that. So it's good to have. So let me get these grommets transferred over, and then we'll go ahead and install the shroud and put it on the bike. All right, time to install the grommets. I cleaned them up with some soapy water. And the only one that has a internal like bushing metal piece is the one that's going to be where your bolt's at. So just keep that in mind. But we got this top one right here. And these just slide into place, so nothing fancy. Just a bushing, just a metal bushing. And then we got the bottom one. All right, and now we're gonna install the shroud This might be tough to clip on because the factory ones can be tough depending on the batch and whatnot you get. So we're gonna see if I can save the housing a little bit here. Try not to scratch it. Sorry, Clifford, if one of your headlights has fingerprints all over it. All right. And then clip, clip. All right, so now that is all clipped on. So now you can see you've got your headlight housing on and it looks like a normal headlight again. So we're good there. All we have to do now is install this little metal bushing back into the top rubber grommet up here. And then we have to make sure we slide this grommet on first here. It just slides on like that. Line that bottom one up there. If we can get it to slide in place. Like that. This one goes in that prong up here. I just need to stand up so I can see. It just slides in place like so. And don't be afraid to give it a little bit of persuasion. The rubber's a little stiff. And then you've got your bolt. Bolt goes in up here. And then we just bolt that in place. Nothing too tight because it's in a plastic housing now, but there you go. The actual light itself, the housing is installed. So now all we gotta do is plug in the factory connector, which just clips in like that. And then I'll show you guys that it only operates the high and low beams. So Will, if you want to run over there, I will show them that. All right, so I just cut the bike on. Now let's see if the headlights work. So you got your lows and your highs, which cuts on both of the things. You know, we don't worry about that. We have Resto Quad headlights now.
Flip it back. Oh, now it cuts on. Now I'm a liar. Frick you.
But yeah, they work. So now let's install the actual running light and then we'll get to that. All right, so here is where buying the actual street legal harness comes in handy, because you don't have to wire these connectors, which is not hard, but it will save you time in the long run. Let me just give you a brief explanation of what all these do. Red, power, ground. This is your switchback turn signal. This is what operates everything in the actual light itself. So you've got power, ground, and your turn signal wire. If you want an actual amber running light, instead of running your power to your red wire, you can run your power straight to your green wire, and that'll give you an amber third signal, which I will show you guys in a sec. But for now, let's just go ahead and get this wired, and then we'll connect some power to it just to show you guys the actual daytime running light. All right, so now that we've got our wire stripped, we can plug this into the actual light itself, and I'll show you guys how this is wired up. We need to go ahead and grab the spool of white wire that came with the actual headlights themselves. So we're going to plug this in here. As you can see, it just connects right in. Oh, almost. And now I'm going to disconnect this here. Oh, almost. There we go. You will need some type of crimp connect and wire splitters. So just keep that in mind before you install. And I'm not referring to the instructions because I've already done one and it is still fresh in my brain. This is where I'm actually going to change the change how I do this a little bit, because if you don't buy the street legal harness, what he has you do in the instructions is actually run your power wire straight into the fuse box and run it off of like your headlight fuse. And you're just putting wires in the fuse box, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's what I did on mine, just following the instructions because I didn't have the part that I wanted. But what we're going to use for Will's is what he uses for the actual full street legal harness. So we'll have this pre-installed when we go get the harness, so that won't be a big issue. But it is a mini add-a-fuse. What this is it plugs directly into your fuse box, and it basically just gives you another power source that you can wire straight into. So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and get this open, and we're going to wire this into the fuse box. It's not hard. All it does is just connects in like a fuse. That's why they call it an add-a-fuse. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to take one of our fuses here. We're going to take the 10 amp, and that just plugs in to your top spot. Your bottom spot is where your original fuse goes. And then this wire unspools, and I'm going to go ahead and get this wired, and we'll be back in just a sec. Twist those two together. And we're just going to heat that up. As you can see, the shrink wrap is actually starting to shrink around it. I'm going to heat the solder up. And it should melt here in just a second. The solder has a very low melting point. So for the wiring, I've got it started right there with the mini add-a-fuse. I've ran it all the way down. It's going underneath the intake, going around the battery. I've got it zip tied to the harness right there, running up the frame. It's zip tied up here, running underneath the actual gas tank itself. I'm going to zip tie it also right here. It's going to run up through this little hole, come out and around, and then eventually when this dries and I put the heat shrink on it, I'm going to run it through this little hole right here. So if it'll focus, I'm going to run it through that little hole right there, and then we'll run the connector up, and boom, everything will be tucked out of the way nicely, and we'll be good. All right, so if you can see anything that's going on, I ended up rerouting it back through here and then through this little hole right here. So now we can just plug this in like so. And I wrapped everything in electrical tape, so everything is shrink wrapped twice and then electrical taped over that, so nothing should be coming loose. Everything's got a watertight connection, so we're good there. So let's go to the front and test out the actual headlights themselves. All right, so let's go see if these caught on. So it should just click on with the key. Boom. Lights cut on. These, the V1s, don't have a startup animation. It's just the daytime running light. And now we'll test the low beams and the high beams. Sweet. Everything works. So now all we got to do is wire up the other side. Here is the running light in pitch black. As you can see, it's already pretty bright. Low beams and your high beams. If you come to the front, you can see that the stock headlights are more of just a flood of crap light. It's going to be hard to tell, but the Resto Quad lights, you've got the daytime running light, and then you've got your projector beams, which throw the light a lot farther and a lot cleaner. Because if you can tell with just the Suzuki, you can see how well lit up the Suzuki is just from that one headlight. And the other headlight's not really throwing light as pure. It's already all spread out and basically just washed out. So this is a lot more, it's a lot brighter, a lot further away and closer as well. So, but don't mind my pizza. I'm hungry. No.
So, as you guys may know, we do a lot of installation videos on the channel for various parts. And one of our favorite things that we like to do is to give our honest opinion on it. And I'm going to be straightforward and honest with you, without a shadow of a doubt. These headlights, regardless of if you get the V1 or V2, are so much better than these stock headlights. It gives you a wide variety pan of what the ground looks like in front of you. I mean, yes, it'd be better if it was more focused, which I believe is what the point of the V2s is. We won't know about that until we get into that product as a whole. But just putting the V1s on and cutting them on and seeing the difference is like night and day. No pun intended, though. So if you haven't gotten an opportunity, or if you were on the fence about it and you're interested in this product, then be sure to go check out James. I have his channel and his website linked in the description down below. And also, if you're interested in the V2s and you want to see more about the V2s, get some more information on it, and see how to install it just like the V1s, then go check out our V2 video, which will be live on the channel right after this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this does help you out as a consumer. And if for some reason you have a question, or if you got lost in the installation process, let us know. We'll feel free to answer any question you may have about this product or any product relating to it. Thank you guys again for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Now we the coldest, yeah, I'm on 10 with my roadies. Shout out my homies, we gon' ball for them trophies. Like they can't hold me, thinking God, I've been chosen. Go through the motions, all them times I was hopeless. Now we the coldest.
Look, I've been trying to tell y'all since like 1-3. Got my soul up in the trunk, get my God got the key. Spirit trying to talk.